As I told you guys, today we have some special guests who are coming through, and it's an exciting day for me. It's an exciting day. I'm happy. I'm happy to
Christmas
meet.
has come early.
Christmas has come early. You know those people you see on TV and other places, and suddenly they're in the room. You're like,
suddenly they're seated next to you.
Yeah.
Have you called your mother?
No, I'll call her.
Say you're becoming
I'll call
famous.
her during. I'll call her.
Check him, mommy. You will not believe what is happening. Wow.
Imagine aliingia kwa studio alafu akaka. Imagine. Cheki alikaa hapa akaongea na wewe directly hapa.
Emmanuel and making our Lunje moms look funny.
Karibuni sana. We have Adelle, Onyango, and Ann Kungu. Eric, you're going to introduce them, right?
Absolutely. Karibuni sana.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you. Asante sana.
So just pull the mic right. Yes. Perfect. That's perfect.
Feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Mjisikie mko nyumbani.
Thank you.
So today we are discussing rape and sexual assault. Just very briefly, if you're somewhere under a rock and you're wondering, what is rape? What is this rape thing? Mm-hmm. So I'm here to tell you just that. So rape is defined, at least according to the dictionary, unlawful sexual activity and usually sexual intercourse carried out forcibly or under threat of injury against a person's will or with a person who is beneath a certain age or incapable of valid consent because of mental illness, mental deficiency, intoxication, unconsciousness, or deception.
Yes.
And if you're also wondering, how does that bounce off sexual assault? I got you. Sexual assault is an act in which a person intentionally sexually touches another person without that other person's consent. And yes, man, this includes randomly touching a woman's waist in the middle of Nairobi because you're trying to pass. All right? So yes, to help us make sense of all of this, we are joined by Adelle Onyango, who is a founder of AOI Initiative, which is simply Adelle Onyango Initiative. Adelle is also a media personality with global accolades and recognition for her work in empowering women and the youth. She was recognized earlier this year as 100 most influential young Africans for the year of 2019. Okay, Africa's 100 extraordinary African women for 2018. BBC's 100 inspirational and innovative women in the world for 2017. The list is long. The list is long. And also alongside Adelle is Ann Kungu, who is the impact manager of CFK. CFK is simply Carolina for Kibra, founded in 2001, and their role in the largest informal settlement in Africa, in Kibra, is simply programs to improve basic healthcare, sanitation, education in Kibra. Also, they've come up with Binti Pamoja Center and has established which is an established safe space for young girls to hone their mentorship and advocacy skills while addressing issues that are unique to them. If you want to check it out, absolutely. If you want to check them out more, simply go on your phone or your PC. CarolinaForKibra.org is their website. And guys, karibu sana again. Let's just delve into it very quickly. I was reading about dating violence. All right. And something intrigued me. This simply happens when one of the partners is in a dating relationship, use controlling, abusive, and aggressive behavior, including behavior perpetrated to manipulate the other person into having unwanted sex conduct. It includes emotional, verbal, physical, and or sexual abuse. Coupled with that, I read a very heart-wrenching report. 7 of every 100 76 girls in parts of Nairobi have been raped in the last 1 year. Most of them more than 5 times. Can you imagine that?
That's crazy.
A new study has found. The study was done by Stanford University, a university in the United States, and an NGO, Africa Initiative for Health and Development, says that most of the perpetrators, about 66%, are their boyfriends. All right. So my question to the both of you, I'll start with you, Adelle. So someone has disclosed to me, all right, about their experience of sexual assault. What should I do?
Yeah, it's really tricky because, so I'll answer that in 2 parts, based one on my own experience as a survivor and then also what we're trying to do in terms of giving psychosocial support.
Yes.
And so my experience, obviously opening up to my late mom and to my sisters, they're very supportive, and first just wanted to find out, and my best friend the morning after took me to hospital, made sure that I got the relevant tests done, was on the relevant medication afterwards. But my family, who I told a year plus after, were very supportive in terms of like psychosocial support. However, speaking out about it in public, which happens to quite a few survivors, even within what you would assume is a safe space like home, there's a lot of victim shaming and blaming that happens. So you'll hear people who are even close to you, so not only strangers, which was in my case strangers on the internet or whatever, but they're survivors who you'll hear questions from people who you think would care for you, like, what were you doing there that time? What were you wearing? Were you intoxicated? What did you do? If it's an intimate relationship, there's that question of what did you do for him to do that? And so I feel like victim shaming is something that people have to be so cognizant of, so that if somebody close to you, or even not close to you, discloses, you don't end up making them feel even worse than they're already feeling after surviving such trauma.
Because it's very important, from what I've read, that a lot of rape victims, one of the things they yearn for is being believed. They want to be believed because the initial reaction is all those questions you've asked. Like, what were you doing there? And so on and so forth.
Adelle, let me ask, for someone who doesn't know the backstory, how old were you, or how far was it from that particular incident till right now?
Well, it was December 2008. All right, so about 11 years ago. I'm really bad with numbers. I'm 30 now, so everybody can do the math. But so it was.
So you're still young and vulnerable.
Still young and vulnerable, but I think all levels of the thing that is sad about rape, right, is that it's not something that is unique to low income areas. It's not something that's unique to young girls or girls who are teenagers. Or it's over the number of years and I'm sure Annie you'll agree, is like when you work in this space, you meet women from so many different backgrounds who have all gone through the same trauma.
It cuts across.
It really
from
does.
Age to area, environment where you stay, your locality.
Yes.
It doesn't mean if you're rich or poor, it affects you.
No, it affects, and it's trauma. It's trauma, and so the need for psychosocial support, even immediately, is so important.
And how many ladies, or the group of people that you work with at Carolina, what is the age group that come out or are present in your system?
So for us, our focus is mostly girls between 9 to 24 years. However, when it comes to issues of rape and sexual violence, the youngest girl we've ever served was a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Whoa.
So as she was saying, there's no restriction as to social status or age as well. So we have 5-year-olds. We have partner organizations also in Kibera who have told us that they have served also 3-year-olds.
Good Lord.
So what happens is that basically nobody's safe. And similarly to the predators, there is no special characteristics of what a predator is.
Yes.
We have had cases where our girls have been raped by their fathers, their uncles, their brothers, a neighbor, a boyfriend. So there's no specific age or characteristic that you can say this is how to spot a predator.
Do you prosecute any of these people? For example, if someone came forth with their child or a victim came forth, are you also in the process of prosecuting this particular person, or you just give them the support that is needed, the emotional and physical support?
So for us, our policy is survivor-led support.
Oh, okay.
So it is you, the woman, the girl, to lead us to what you need. So we will advise, but we take your needs first. Because as she was talking about, there's a lot of trauma in it. So you really don't want on top of it to stress someone. So we don't want you coming to us, you've told us that you've been raped. And then our number one concern is, let's go to the police. So for us, number one is first to get you safe and comfortable. So it depends. Who is the predator? Who was the rapist? If it's someone in your family, in your household, that means we can't take you back to that house.
You try and get them
We
out.
have to get you out of that house. Number two, we need to get you to hospital as soon as possible, because they need to administer a rape kit. There need to be checks and preps. The PEPs, they have to be administered just to take care of your health. So number one always is hospital. So after we're done with the hospital, we get the necessary documents. If the survivor is willing, then now we'll start the process of reporting. If it's a child, you always start with the children's department. Then you go to the police station. If it's an adult, you just go directly to the police station. The problem that we have really for us is the survivors, they allow us to get to the point of going to the hospital, to go to report to the children's office or to the police station. But we've never had any success past the police station. That is where the system is not helping women. The system, it does not exist for women. And the system is there to support predators.
All right.
Because what happens is you report, they get arrested. 2-3 days later, someone in the village will call us and tell us, oh, we saw the man, he's out. And that is a problem with rape, is that there are continuous repeat cases of same predators because they're not being locked away. No one is taking any action. A good example is we have had cases of, so in Kibera, what they have is homestays that sort of like a number of households form a compound. And then there are multiple compounds, sort of like sets. So we have had cases where we have one case reported. We try to get the girl, we take her to hospital, we get her psychosocial support. We report to the police, nothing happens. There's bribery, there's all that. He gets released. 2 months later, he raped another girl, the same compound. Literally, that man has rotated in 4 houses in the same compound.
And
so
nothing
he went
has
from
been
door
done.
to door to door. To
Yeah,
door.
because it's not persecuted.
They're not persecuted. And because the system doesn't exist to protect the women, so the communities have, out of lack of knowledge, have come up with a system of dealing with it, which is not really for the victim's sake. It's still another way of protecting the predator. So what happens is they have what we call kangaroo meetings. So the kangaroo courts. So you come and apologize.
Oh, that's the one we hear that
Yes.
he paid a certain
Yes.
amount of cattle or gave a bag of sugs, 7 bags of maize.
For the inconvenience that you went through.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That is
For the inconvenience. You know, nothing else happened. You were just inconvenienced a bit, eh? So
I
don't
mean,
be too fast.
Even if we look at the most recent case of the 2 rugby players who then got actual jail time, as we were celebrating that and as we were shocked that it happened, there was a bit of sadness that we were celebrating and being shocked because it doesn't happen. So that's why we were all like, oh my God,
and
my
it
God.
took long.
And it took long. It took long. It was, I really sympathize with the survivor because she had to put up with so much, so close to when it happened. But that just shows you, even our reactions, that this is something, we never see any justice served. So we are shocked when it actually happens, when the law is actually meant to protect us.
Alrighty, we're gonna. Our guest just walked in, so we're just gonna let them relax for a moment, man. The topic is heavy, but we have to have these conversations. It's 15 minutes past 8 o'clock. I'm gonna play for you some LL Cool J, and then we'll be back like we never left. 21 minutes past 8 o'clock. We are the adults in the room, and I'm in studio with the usual suspects, Eric and Barbara. And today we have some special guests, Adelle Onyango and Ann Kungu, and we're having a dope discussion right here in studio. And just before we go back into the conversation.
I was booking tickets yesterday after you told me.
That's cool. That's an affordable figure. Anyway, as I said earlier, and as Eric did so well with the introduction, we're here with Adelle Onyango and Ann Kungu. Karibu sana once again.
Thanks, guys.
And we are discussing what, Barbara?
We are discussing rape and sexual assault. It's a conversation many of us do not like having, but here at Spice FM, adults in the room, today we are having that conversation.
Also, before we continue,
Yes.
Adele and Kungu Ann walked in when we are right in the midst of it.
Yes.
So just to take you through, this is the adults in the room. It's a fantastic show where we have no holds barred about anything and everything. We talk about sex, money, relationship, and anything in between in the rawest form. All right. So it comprises of 4 individuals. It is Barbara and Baka, who is living her life like it's golden. Emmanuel Kisiangani, who is a married man. He's the only boring guy in the
Yeah, but there's only boring guy.
And my name,
Take offense.
I'm offended.
and my name is Eric Omondi. They're yet to be married, but really joyous.
Yes.
And
Living
happy
my life
in this
joyously.
And like,
Yes. And
We are not going to say like who, but
and
we're
then
just saying.
we normally have a seat right here where Anna sat.
Okay.
For the mskilizaji.
Okay.
The mskilizaji sits here. So that's constitutes of the adults in the room.
Yeah.
And you're part of the family. So karibu
Thank
sana.
you so much,
Yeah.
guys. And I
Yeah.
think it's so important that you're having these conversations
Yeah.
because I think as a society, in different issues, but also this one of rape, we're unlearning a lot of things, and it always starts with conversations and raw, real conversations.
Absolutely.
Adele, there's a video I saw that you shared a week ago. You're talking about it was a dedication to anyone who has been hurt in the name of masculinity, and in that video you talk a lot about objectification.
Yeah.
Do you want to share what that's about?
Yes. So and I love that you've told us like no holding back.
no
and whatever.
holding
So
back.
I'll go into the background of that. So when we we'll talk about the project that we're doing as my initiative in Carolina for Kibera, but as part of that, we are doing what you're doing, which is trying to get people to have honest conversations about women's safety. Women are not safe. Where we're there, what we wear when we go there, who we'll go with, how we'll get there is governed by will we be safe, right? It's not the same for men. And when I talk about safety, and even when we think about we could get robbed or whatever, the first thought is not even your phone or your bag or your money. You first think about your person, and you think about rape, and you think about, the consequences of that, right? So in 2017, I had a brunch with campus students, and I invited a friend of mine who's also in the media, Janet Mbogwa, and we streamed it live, and we were having conversations on sexual harassment, street harassment, the catcalling, and all of those things that we've normalized that should not be normal.
Yeah.
And once we streamed them live, then we got a lot of backlash. Well, not a lot, but one notable one, which said that they took a picture from that screening of myself and Janet and said, I in particular as Adele, I am not attractive enough for somebody to willingly sleep with me,
Really?
let alone rape me. And this was from a man who has some sort of influence online, all right? And so he's influencing a lot of people to not have a conversation about rape and sexual harassment and stuff, but made it about his personal preferences. And so that video was actually my statement in response to him. Because I think
That's
in
actually
his
an attack.
post,
A
in his
sexual
post he
attack.
said, pardon my ignorance or something like that. And I was like, I cannot pardon it because women have been objectified and are still being objectified to date. We are not seen as beings. We're not seen as subjects in our own right, which is why even when good men stand up for us, they'll always say, imagine if that was your mother. Imagine if that was your sister. I'm like, imagine she's a human being.
Stop
You
imagining
don't
a
have
relative.
to round her off to you to
bring it
understand that
close.
this is wrong, right? You should be able to do that regardless. And it's because of years of conditioning of women are never their own. Our bodies are never our own. It's rounded off to our fathers, to our brothers, to the uncle,
To the
husband, to the husband's male relative.
To the
Yes.
You know that,
politicians.
exactly. And it's never our bodies. And so for me, when we're talking about ending rape and ending rape culture, we've got to do it from both ends. We've got to take care of the survivors, but we've also got to have those candid conversations to make sure we stop having more
So that we
survivors.
don't have
Yes,
that
'cause-
conversation continuing.
Because
Exactly.
you said in the video that rape is not about sex. It is all about objectification, power, and control, and it is a crime of violence.
It is. It's not about sex. So for me, that was important to bring out because the attack was trying to make it about sex. And I was like, no, this is a crime of violence. It's about power. It's about objectification. It's about control. There is an article that Timothy Njoya Reverend did a couple of years ago where he went into a prison and he talked to actual rapists who are behind bars. And one of them is an old man who raped his son's daughter,
As a grandchild.
his grandchild. And he said he did it because he wanted to show his son that he is a man. Because his son was now doing well. He had gotten a car and whatever. And so I don't know what was happening with him. And so his first thought was to reestablish his control, his power, was to rape his grandchild. So it's not about sex. It's really not about sex. Yeah.
You know,
It's a paper
and
also.
I like what Adele has said. that women, when say they are leaving the house, they don't think about what an ordinary guy would think about, like their phone or somebody snatching the laptop. I had this conversation with my sisters a while back, maybe 2 years, and they say one of the things they do before they board a matatu is they scout to see how many men vis-a-vis women, and then that will decide if they'll board the matatu. That's crazy.
It is. Even from personal experience, like depending on where you're going in town, you have to think.
Yes.
So if I'm going to Uptown, I can wear my short dress, I'll be okay. That's fine. If I'm going to River Road or certain sections, that is the day you wear your tights and very long tops.
And you wear
or
your rubber
wear
shoes.
rubber shoes.
I still do that.
Or not your so nice outfits because you don't want to stand out too much. So also you can't do your makeup overly much. So you don't want just anything to make you blend into the background. And that is something that men don't need to do. And in line with the objectification, that is something also that even the young boys believe that it's a way of complimenting a woman, especially the catcalling. Just about, was it like 3-4 weeks ago, we were having conversations with a few boys from our project. They're about 14 to 17. So I was asking them, we're just having a random conversation. I was like, so I noticed that you guys have decided to pair up. So are you getting girlfriends? And they're like, oh, all that. Then I'm like, so how do you compliment her? Then the first thing is one of the boys, just out of nowhere, just said, iyo kitu mzuri. Then I was like, what is kitu?
They shout out like that.
Yes. So I was like, then I was like, are you okay with the way also they shout on the roads? And like, it's fine. So that is what that has been normalized. Boys have been socialized into believing that women are things for you to take. They are things for you to control.
possess.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Reverend Joya, we were having a conversation actually last month in Tanzania. And I've never thought about it, but he told us, just think about it in our traditional languages. What does the name of a woman mean? So like from your tribe, what does it mean?
My own.
Your own tribe. I'm Kikuyu.
It means like my property. Mine.
Yes. So as
yeah.
women, we are called mutumia. So it's something to use. So we are things to use. And there are tribes where women are things to enter. And there are tribes where it translates to holes as well. So we are objects.
And our language has normalized this
Yeah,
for
And we
years.
We were talking about language on the break. We're talking about music and how some of this music has also normalized some of these conversations we are having. We objectify women in music. We downplay them, and it is okay. People are dancing to it. People are singing along to it. No one is actually condemning how this music is being packaged and sold to us.
Yeah, it requires like a level of consciousness. I really do believe, even as individuals, because some people say, well, in my own capacity, what can I really do? Yeah. And there was this song that went viral. I can't remember the name of the artist, but I do know a man who was abusing her, and she left him. He sent it to her with no words, no nothing. So literally it was like a threat, because the song says, you refuse to be with me. It's in Kiswahili. You refuse to be with me, so then I'll kill you and I'll come and laugh at your funeral. I think you remember the song.
Yes, yeah.
And he sent it to her, and it was a threat. On social media, people were laughing about it. And, there was like men saying, yes, he's
And it got a lot
singing
of
about
hype
that.
for a lot of weeks.
So as an individual, so for me, I've been to a club where it played, and I walked to the DJ and I said, you cannot play this song in this club. Because what are you trying to tell us? So it means, do you stand by this? Do you actually agree with what this person is saying? This is heavily problematic. And so as individuals, we need to be conscious enough to say, hey, please stop that right there. It doesn't even have to be a fight, because a lot of people are learning things. Just because a song has views doesn't mean
it is good.
Yeah. So you have to be conscious, even as an individual, to say, hang on, what does that lyric say? That's actually quite wrong. Or what are the words that we use to refer to women? That's actually quite wrong. Or even like men. And we had a forum, I have a podcast that talks about gender issues. And one man said, it's in the conversations, like when you're talking about femicide and men saying, oh, but I bought her a phone or I bought her a drink, and you know, media reports it like that. And he said, but it's in the language we use as men. When we sit down and you've bought her a drink, we ask you, so you know, they use the betting language. So when will you get your returns? And there's lingo they use, and they've normalized it and they laugh about it. But what's that saying is, me buying you a drink means by force, by fire,
you have to reciprocate.
there's something. So that could lead to rape.
You know, Anne and Adele, one of these, in one of the shows we've had, we were talking about consent. And I hold the view, and, you know, it caused a lot of friction, especially with the callers, but I hold the view that a lot of men, myself included in the past, we are very ignorant about consent. We have an idea of what it means, but we don't quite figure it out yet. For instance, women have said time without number, the Me Too campaign, that look, no means no at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, just before we start. When we start and I stop,
Yes.
when I say no, I mean no. So how much would you have to say in this regard? Because I feel like consent is very people take it to be problematic. That tulikuwa tumeanza sasa, ngoja fande wacha kunipiga, tulikuwa tumeanza alafu anakataa kama nani, you know.
Na tulikuwa tumeanza.
Yes, and that is usually my problem. Because there's this perception with men that once you get into a relationship, especially, that the minute you get into it, you have permanently consented to all forms of sex, anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
So you only needed to consent once, which is not the case.
Yes.
It is a continuous exercise.
Yes.
It is not every day you're in the mood. And sometimes something happens and you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And sex involves our bodies. You might not know, but we might start having sex and something feels not right in my body.
Yes.
So I need you to stop. So sex should be, the consent should be continuous.
Yes.
And you should, and for me, I feel that's a sense of it. That's just not being sensitive to your partner, because if this is someone you purport to love, you should be able to read the room. You should be able to tell whether I'm still in it or not. And if I look like I'm not in it, I don't have to say no first. Should be sensitive enough to ask me, are you okay?
And I think it's not, you know, I really find it quite interesting. So, because consent is such an easy concept to understand, because even the man should be able to say no. You understand?
It's not only the woman.
It's not just us. But when you ask a man what he fears about going to prison, one thing that comes up, you know what comes up.
Yes.
So in that context, men get it. They get that this is a violation. This
It is wrong. You cannot do
come
it.
out, and we as women are saying, but I've said no. Then all of a sudden it's, what do you mean? And I'm like,
And we were here with you tomorrow. Yesterday.
In fact, that thought of prison makes many people obey the law.
And they get it. They get it in that context. So I'm always like, how hasn't changed when I'm saying it? You know,
It doesn't.
You know, I watched I was listening to I think one of your podcasts. You're talking about rape and gender-based violence in universities, and you're talking to these ladies who are talking about campus rape. And one of them was saying, you're with your boyfriend and he wants to have sex without protection. Like he takes it off in the process. Like you're having, you go out with in fact, she said your boyfriend, and then you say, I don't want to have sex without protection. And then in the middle, the guy just removes
Slips it out.
Yes.
Without
He
your
cons
knowledge.
her.
Yes.
It's called stealthing, actually.
It's called what?
Stealthing.
Stealthing.
And there are very few countries that have actually included it in their law, because you see now you have changed the conditions upon which I give you my consent, and you have not alerted me that you have changed the conditions.
So I find myself there, and that is illegal in some
Yes.
countries.
Exactly.
Yes, that is so amazing. I'm sure many guys don't know about that, man. And then there was another one before you chime in, Kungu. You're drunk. She talked about you're hanging out with your classmate, and then you go out and you have drinks, and then instead of this guy, when the lady gets drunk, and then they go home. So instead of this guy maybe tucking her in and putting her in another room to sleep. Remember, they're just friends. They wake up in the morning and the guy is next to you, stark naked, and he's like, no, you said that you wanted to have sex
And
with
you
me.
can't
You are
recall.
drunk. You know. So the reason this was shocking is these are things that happen all the time.
Yeah, and if you remember Eric's introduction, when you gave your definition, intoxication was there,
Yes.
right? So I'm not in a state to say
consent,
yes, to
absolutely.
consent.
Yeah.
On top of that, you're
I
not
don't
somebody
even
I'm
know.
even in a relationship with. I've left you in another room, and I wake up and you're in mine.
Yeah.
That is very traumatic.
Yeah.
You know, I was hanging out with a friend of mine because we had this conversation about consent, and I was reading through the Sexual Offences Act. So I read that if you're hanging out with a lady and then you buy her, you intoxicate her, and then she goes and she's blacked out more or less, and you have sex with her, that is, you know, that's
It's
rape.
a crime. Yeah.
Then he was like, no, you know, Manu, you said that if
least
you
even-
buy a chick drinks and she becomes drunk and you go and sleep with her, that's rape. You know, you said that on there. Then I'm like, yes. Then like, is that accurate? No, that's not accurate. You said that on there. Like he was
Yes,
correcting me.
actually.
Yeah. And
You felt that you were not right.
And this is a fairly decent, sane guy who's talking like
educated,
that.
exposed,
Yes.
exactly.
Big
Yeah.
social-
And you
Socialized,
talked about something
socialized.
about grooming, when men are grooming ladies or ladies in campus or young girls.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
So grooming, basically, it's a systematic way of softening up someone who you deem vulnerable to the point where now you can comfortably have sex with them without any kind of resistance. So this is usually a stepped process. So most of them, they'll start off
By the
first-
predator?
Yes, by the predators. So the predators will usually identify someone who looks vulnerable. So for younger kids, most of them are. So they are easy to be friendly with. For girls who are in campus, she probably has now additional needs and she doesn't have the financial status to meet them. So now you start off first by being nice to her. A few gifts here and there. She gets comfortable. She starts opening up. Then they find a gap in their life that they need filled.
So, quote unquote, you're the friend.
Yes. So if they feel that they do not have someone who shows them affection, now you become that person who's always there for them, showing them love continuously, nothing sexual yet. And then slowly by slowly now they become vulnerable. Then you start bringing in issues of love and falling in love. Then they start having now, for the younger kids is when they start having conversations with sex, which is a process that when I talk to our girls that I can see she was groomed into it. So at
Because
this
they
point,
get shocked. It's like
exactly.
you can see in their faces.
Yes, because they get to a point now when they're friends now, they're talking every day. Now he starts bringing in issues about sex. Then start asking her, what is sex? Do you know this can feel nice? Do you know you can do this? Do you know when you love someone, this is what you
You
do
have
for
to do
them?
it. Yeah.
So this is what you do. So slowly by slowly, then they get to a point now the girl is considering, oh, he's been really good to me all this while. So maybe it's time now for me to give back that affection. So now at that point, that's when now they have sex with them. Then after they have sex with them, now it's when now the control comes in now. There are a lot of threats and they're like, it has to be a secret. It's something about us. If you tell them, they will.
I'll
They will
withdraw
steal.
this money,
Exactly.
I'll-
If you tell
yeah.
someone, I'll stop doing this for you. So now you're at that point where you've become emotionally attached. You've been manipulated into believing you're
You're
in
being
some kind of
blackmailed.
relationship.
Yeah.
And now he has free access, continuous rape, no one to ask, no victim.
Yeah.
Because of
Your
that
mom-
particular one day that you give in,
Yes.
this child now gives in all the
Gives
time.
in all the time. And it's a case that we've seen that we have girls. She is 13, 14, and she has been continuously having sex with a man that she perceives to be her boyfriend. And I'm telling you, she will defend him tooth and nail. And that man is in his almost 30s, in his 40s.
That's terrible.
And it's because they have been groomed. One of the girls where she got to a point where she was cancelled and she came out of it. And the funny thing is, the reason why he got her is one thing only. He gave her her first new pair of shoes. She has never owned a new pair of shoes.
94.4 Spice FM. We are the adults in the room. We'll be back like a boomerang. 10 minutes to 9 o'clock. Time is flying. You know, it does that when we're having fun. I'm in studio with the usual suspects, Eric, Barbara, with myself, Emmanuel, and we have some special guests in the building.
Yes,
That
we
is
do.
absolutely right. And you know you want to be part of this conversation. The rules are simple. Go on to Twitter or Facebook and Instagram. We are on all of those platforms on Spice FM KE. Remember also if you're on Twitter to just add the hashtag adults in the room so we can quickly locate your tweet. Let us know where you're listening from and also your thoughts on the topic. And remember, Spice FM is the first station to come alive in a visual format. So that simply means you can catch us live in high definition if you simply went to www.spicefm.co.ke. 241, get to hear us loud and clear. And watch us.
Eric, you've said it like it is, man. You can stream the show live and check out Barbara's eyelashes.
And my mom.
Wipe yeah.
Girl, I feel you, man. I will be on that.
Thank you.
I'm
You should also
watching.
check on Adelle's heart.
Shower.
We're doing. We're twinning today on
And
that.
obviously, you'll be able to see the very beautiful Adelle Onyango's in studio and Kungu.
Anne, who, by the way, I have to confess, in my mind, when I was told Anne Kungu is coming and she works with, women in Kibra, my mind was a very motherly person.
Yeah.
He was very shocked to see you.
You're motherly in heart or at heart. But I'll tell you what, Adele, in my head, I was thinking, tusema karibu sana mama. Asante mama. Sasa umesema ulianza mwaka 99.9 ikirudi na nenda.
You can sense my old soul.
Assumption truly is the mother of.
Yeah, that one. So, Anne, you were telling us something about grooming. Please, Emmanuel?
Definitely.
Sorry. You were telling us something about grooming and how young girls get groomed into being sexually assaulted.
And the thing about grooming is that it creates a safe environment for the predator because it never sticks out. And it's in a way that everyone sort of assimilates with and gets comfortable with it. So as the parent, you think, oh, is this my neighbor? So you won't be too concerned. Or you think if she's a bit older that she's just mounting and he's probably guiding her. But instead she's being groomed into it. So the one thing that we usually have conversations around, especially with parents, is that you need to be careful about such people. Ask your daughter what she's doing with an older person. There are no 30-year-olds who are friends with 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm so paranoid right now. My gardener brought a switch to my daughter today. It's nothing, but I'm just paranoid.
You should be. There is nothing for a 10-year-old to converse with a 30-year-old.
True.
If you're not their sibling, their family, or the parent, there's nothing for them to talk about. And at the same time also, grooming is not just for adults and younger women. Even as a grown woman, it's also possible for you to be groomed because we all have vulnerabilities. And if someone is smart enough to spot your vulnerability, they will use that to their advantage. And it's similar thing also to women who are in abusive relationships.
Yeah.
Because probably he noticed that you need constant affirmation. And he knows that when he takes it away, you will come back. So grooming is everywhere. And that's one thing I always say is that predators, do not view them lightly. They are not idiots.
They're
they
intelligent.
know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Can we say grooming is also in marriage, in some marriages?
It is.
Because I see that you've actually said something that just triggered. They're like, they'll take something away from you. I know many ladies who are in abusive relationships, and you ask them both emotionally and physically, and you're asking them, why can't you get out? And they're thinking about the material things that they'll miss out on. They're like, he'll take away my car, he'll do this. And you're like, are you mad? You wonder if they're manipulated or insane or just... or drugged.
Even the language they use, because I had on my weekly podcast, there's a lady who told a story about being in an emotionally abusive relationship, and as people we're constantly telling our girls abuse is when he hits you, walk away. We don't talk about emotional abuse.
Yes.
And so she said whenever this guy she was in a relationship with would get angry, he would like punch mirrors, and so he'll punch the mirror and say, you see, I'm holding back from doing this to you.
What?
And when he's angry, he would say, it's you. You're making me so angry. That so basically he's saying, if I do something, it really is your fault. Why did you make me this angry
So the
to
woman
hit
fears.
you? You know what I mean? And because he hadn't hit her, she said, okay, well, now I just have to cook harder, clean harder.
Be nice.
Be nice because I'm the one who's doing this thing, right? And so it's it's true. Abusers are not idiots. They're intelligent.
There's something you said on that the video that I've been talking about all evening. You said that every girl has a creepy sex story. And I remember my wife telling me a story about her uncle who'd she'd be carried by her uncle, and then he'd put her on his lap, on top of his machine, all right, for lack of a better word. And she showed me a picture where she's standing with the uncle and the rest of the family. So her body language was just showing that this guy is a creep. Like she was tugging towards the person on her right, and her uncle was right there on the left.
Yeah.
And she's never ever shared that story, like she
Yeah.
only recently shared it with her mother. But when you said every girl has a creepy sex story, that's just sad.
We've been collecting stories as we're talking about the campaign that we've launched, My Initiative, in partnership with Carolina Fukibera, and we've been collecting stories from different women, and it's about women's safety. It is so crazy how subconsciously we do things to protect ourselves. So one lady said, when I get into a lift and a guy comes in, I use my phone as a to see the reflection if he's behind me, to see what is he doing,
Oh my
to
God,
keep
I do
tabs on
that.
him. And she actually said, because a lot can happen between 5th and 12th floor.
I do that.
Or you're walking to your car, you've parked in the basement, and you always park there because this is where you work, so you're there every day. And women were like, I hold my key between my fingers, ready for an attack. And when we were sharing these stories, we're doing it subconsciously. In the moment, you're not even thinking, this is problematic, right? Like, why do I have to be on edge? Like, why can't men just do better? But we all have those stories.
That is why you're talking about the hashtag safe 24/7.
Yeah.
That's what it means. The feeling of I am safe 24/7, 24 hours a day and 7 days a week.
Exactly. The
Do you know-
code is women deserve to be safe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Adela said that. It made me remember that there's a reason why I park my car just at the door of the cafeteria. I'm always on that lane. And last week someone asked me, you never get parking elsewhere? And I'll rather rotate and run late. But I always
Yeah.
want to park where the lights are next to the cafeteria so that I leave for just
There's
fear.
commotion,
Nothing
there's
has ever
people at
happened. We have a
least.
lot of security and all that. But when you said it, it is just in my subconscious. I always want to park somewhere that I can be seen, that I'm safe next to the security gate where the lights are. So
Yeah.
I think, as you're saying, it's subconscious, but we do that just to protect ourselves.
And one of the things I do is sometimes I go for evening runs. And when I spot a woman ahead of me, I always cross the road to the other side and run ahead of her.
Yes.
Because I always just start panicking that she will panic that there's somebody behind her. So I run ahead of her so that she can see me, so that she's comfortable. What would you say men need to do more, especially bearing the stories like in matatus or in a parking lot? Maybe you're pulling away. What big small things would you advise a guy to do?
For me, before I answer that, even especially the matatus, my God, someone needs to deal with matatus. I personally have twice sat in a matatu and someone has rubbed one off while looking at me in the mat.
Looking at you and rubbing.
Yes,
That's terrible.
Sorry for that.
it's very creepy, very uncomfortable. And the funny thing is, it's other men will notice it and laugh it off.
And do nothing.
So it's like a joke. So they'll just laugh it off. Anyway, matatus are just a whole other thing. But what I would say that men need to be is to be a bit more sensitive. And I wish men would give us the same respect they give to fellow men.
Yes.
Case in point, why is it that a man thinks that he has a right to be greeted back by every single woman on the street? Yet, they do not walk around saying hi to every man. And when you do not greet him back, you probably have your own insecurities, because I will not go around saying hi to every random man. I don't know what your
Safety.
intentions
That's
are.
true. Safety.
I will not.
Please hold
You
your
know-
thoughts. We'll be back with more around that conversation. I hope the brothers are listening, and sisters too. It's getting to 9 o'clock, and we'll be back before you can say.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Sugar and spice and everything nice. Sugar and spice and everything nice. Spice FM.
Spice up your life. They are smart, they are funny, and unfailingly entertaining. They are the adults in the room, and they are here to help you be the best adult you can be. Whether it is matters of the heart, finances, or work that's weighing on your mind, worry not. The adults in the room will help you stay winning. 94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.
We are the adults in the room. It's exactly 9 o'clock, and we're having what we do here every day, authentic conversations. If you've just joined us, we're here every day from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. from Monday to Friday. Am I right, my brother?
That is absolutely right. The only home of authentic conversation. And when you say authentic, we mean just that. And today, if you've just joined us, welcome. You've made the right choice. We are discussing rape and sexual or sex assault. Sexual assault? Sexual assault. I got that right. And just before we went on a break, or rather, we've been joined by Adelle Onyango and Ann Kungu, who are doing phenomenal work with women and young people in Kibra and across Africa. And we are having conversations that would enlighten us and hopefully lead us to unlearn about some of the stuck norms we've held for a very long time. And before we went on a break, Anne was saying something very important, that she's had a belly full of men's bravado about their insistence in saying hi and requiring that you respond. An incident happened to me once. I was with my aunt. I've left a building. We were looking for some mobile money thing. We couldn't find it. It's around 8:20 p.m. My aunt is in the car, sitting on the passenger seat. Then I see some huge guy, look like a waiter, huge, like maybe about 3 inches taller than I am, with the broad shoulders. And then he says, "How are you?" So I was just like, weird. I said, "Fine."
Yeah.
And then I continued with my transactions. Then a friend of mine who had not seen in a long time came and said hi to me in my mother tongue. He said, "Hey, bwana, omera, idinade." And then I said, "Adi maber, how are you?" And then we said hi, and this guy went nuts. He said, "What the hell? I am talking to you and you're Jaluo and you're refusing to talk to me." He picked a stone and just smashed the windscreen of the car. I'm sitting there with my aunt and I'm like, good Lord. And my aunt is, scared and I'm just trying to work out a plan. And right in the middle of CBD, just across the road from Hilton Hotel, and I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with this guy?
Exactly.
And so what quickly I did, I got into the car and just drove off, because there were two options. I was going to fight him and then maybe he'd grab me and stab me and something crazy like that. But these incidences for men are not as rampant as for women.
Yeah.
Because when I speak to my sisters, they tell me very gory stories just like that, or even worse.
We have to say hi back.
We are forced to. We are forced to.
Because you don't know what aggression, we...
Especially in dodgy streets, or
Yeah.
when it's out at dark, you just say hi and quickly walk out.
Yes, you cannot.
Or even the ones my sister told me about is, "I want your number," and they'll stand there and tell you to buzz them so they can save it.
Yes.
If not, they might just start insulting you.
Exactly.
Because long time ago, we'd lie about our numbers.
Yeah.
You'd because you don't want to be sound offensive. You'll say a number that is not yours. Now they've known that we lie about our numbers.
Yeah.
So they actually ask you, "What's your number?" And they can actually even hold your hand in
Yeah.
a matatu. I've seen that
And
before.
follow you.
And follow
And
you. So you just have to
follow you.
play nice for the sake of your safety and you know what? Let me get over on this, and then I run away.
There's
My
so
wife
many
has-
girls who walk around with earphones.
Yes.
That's playing absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Just so
But
you
it's
I
don't.
am
safety.
one of those.
Yeah.
I always have earphones, and 90% of the time, there's nothing playing in those earphones. They're not even plugged into anything. I
just in your
throw
handbag.
them into my handbag or into my dress, and I just walk around.
You-
And if I see you, I'd bob twice, and then I just walk off.
You know, Adele, I read something, and Kungu as well, I think on Twitter. And this woman tweeted, you must have come across this. She said, "Ladies, if you could live just amongst yourself without men for 24 hours, what would you do?"
I read that
And
tweet.
good Lord, the replies were really painful for
It's
me.
everyday things.
'Cause-
Go jogging.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's
Just walk in
things
the
we cannot
streets.
do,
Yes.
and there are places that we cannot go to.
Sit alone in a restaurant. Can you imagine,
Yeah,
Emmanuel?
yes.
Ladies were saying they just want to sit alone in a restaurant.
And not be harassed.
Yeah.
I once came here and I was telling these guys, I was somewhere at the junction, and I'm sitting with my friend, and this guy was going to every woman sitting alone and demanding for their number.
Do you know it happens in the grocery stores as well, like
Yes.
supermarkets?
Yeah.
It happens. So I have earphones whenever I'm in the supermarket alone.
Does this happen everywhere on planet Earth, or
It
there's
does.
some
It
countries you go
everywhere.
to?
No,
Yeah.
it happens everywhere.
everywhere.
Now that we've started talking about it, and I thank God for social media and the digital
Yeah.
age, because women around the world are realizing, hey, even you guys, hiya,
Yeah.
even
Yes,
us, we
yes,
are, what?
yes.
Yes.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Even the people in the village, they have the same challenge, but just different setting.
Yeah, it's
Men need to do better.
Yeah,
we
men,
need
we-
to do
yeah,
better.
we-
I
When you
actually
asked
almost
what-
started shouting
yeah.
this guy. toka hapo, achana na wanawake wewe. Huyu ni nani bana? Sasa tutakaa hapa ukikimbia meza. We madam, usimpe namba, ameomba watu wengine wa 9.
No, but you see, when you asked what should men do,
Yeah.
call out men's bad
Yeah,
behavior,
yeah.
because the cost for men is probably a social cost.
Yeah.
The cost for us is life or death.
Yes.
So we can't call them out.
Yes.
Because if you call them out, sometimes they jeer you or they have someone to back them up. So it becomes a different scenario altogether.
Yes, and when they're with their boys, sometimes
is
they will
worse.
all gear up. And even the boys have no idea what has just transacted between the two of you.
Yeah.
Even in clubs, they will approach you and it's mandatory you agree to a dance or a drink. And if you don't, it all turns violent.
Or someone pushes you from the side, another one from the side, and it's just because one person, you refuse to dance with one person.
So the idea is, if Emmanuel is being an ass, we
Yes.
can say that that's fine.
Yeah.
Then
It's
the
allowed, it's
idea
fine.
is to just, call him out
Call him out
Yes.
there and then.
very boldly.
Like,
All
stop
right,
that.
All right. Emmanuel, you've learned something.
I'm
haven't you?
learning every day, man, and I'm hoping the brothers out there are learning too. Tell us about Carolina for Kibera.
All right. So I don't work for Carolina for Kibera, but my initiative which is a Adelle Onyango initiative,
Yes.
has partnered with Carolina for Kibera, who are doing fantastic work in Kibera, on a project called Safe 247, so 24/7. And the code is women deserve to be safe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you survive something as traumatic as rape, psychosocial support is not a luxury, it's a necessity. But it's grouped as a luxury because it's so expensive to see a therapist in Nairobi, in Kenya, all right? So what we have done is say, okay, fine. So we're fundraising to be able to take 30 survivors of rape through a 10-week free group therapy program that has been created by survivors, a curriculum developer, and trained psychologists, and also is facilitated by trained professionals as well. Because even with therapy, you'll see people saying, oh no, there's, a therapist at church, but it's when you break your leg, you go and see a doctor. So it's the same thing with your mental health. You actually have to go and see the people who have studied for years on how to assist you better. And we also then will set up a support group for an additional 50 survivors of rape. And the reason that we kicked off this fundraiser is, we'd come up with this idea, and you've knocked on doors and you tell people, can you subsidize your rates? Like, we're trying to make this work so that the survivors don't have to pay for anything. And the last door that my team and I knocked on was Carolina for Kibera. We came in for a meeting. It was meant to be a 1-hour tops meeting. We sat with Anne for 6 hours because she was just like, yep, let's do this. All right, what do you need? Okay, fine. Yeah, let's do this. This is a problem even in our context. So they were on board. We didn't know how we were going to get it done, but we sat down and we hashed it out over the 6 hours. And then we started the fundraiser because individuals want to help. They just don't know how. And
So if an individual like me wanted to help, or Eric or Emmanuel,
Yeah.
how do we go about it?
So far what we have is we have our M-Chanka page up. And so if you're in Kenya, you can use the paybill number 891-300.
Please repeat that again.
891-300, account number 36348. And if you're not in Kenya, because digital, I see you guys are digital.
Yes.
You can go to the M-Chanka page. If you go to the Adelle Onyango initiative on Instagram, link in bio, you'll go on the M-Chanka page. You can contribute. We're looking for 4,000 people to contribute 350 shillings each.
I read that and I think that's
Only.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I
Among
read
the
that.
4,000, you have 10. from
Yeah.
me. These 10 people is called
And it's so great. So people have, I think
quite good on
we're at 31% of our goal, and it's individuals. It's just individuals. We've also done a call out for psychologists to apply to be part of the team who are creating the curriculum and who are facilitating the program, so that individuals can be part of building these solutions.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what's the response like?
The response is really good.
Yeah.
Actually, we hit a really good number by the first day.
Yeah.
So like the first day, and our accountant just came to us, like, they started giving
Yeah.
within the past hour. So she was really excited. And I would say, so we have been in existence for 19 years in Kibera. And we work around health, education, livelihoods, and girls and women. And one of the biggest problems that we have been having is issues of sexual violence. And so when she came in, literally that day, we have been having like brainstorming sessions, and we're like, we need to figure out how to get the word out, and we need to get real services to the women, because we offer counseling in Kibera, but you have to realize that sometimes you're contacted by someone who's outside of Kibera, and it's a bit of a hassle to support them. So that's why I was really excited for this process, because it's something that the women need. Mental health is irreplaceable. There's nothing that can make up for mental health, and basically it determines all other aspects of your life.
That's true.
So if you do not have your mental health, everything else will just go wrong, and especially when it's over something so sensitive. And my passion mostly is with around especially the younger girls. It really damages how they are sexualized, and they view sex, which it's something that should be beautiful, in such a negative light. So that's why mental health is really good. It helps you it helps you heal and just forgive those who have wronged you and just come out of it stronger. Yeah.
And so we're also giving them a toolkit, because this whole project came out even from my own personal experience. I tried to heal by myself, so I'd bury myself in work. So my work was thriving. I was doing an open mic gig, and it was thriving because I was paying enough attention to it to run
But
away from
Adele
dealing with
was
the
suffering.
issues. Exactly. So I'd always crash. And when I finally told my late mom about it, she really encouraged me to go for therapy. And we went to different therapists. I was like, oh, okay, I'm not comfortable with this one and all of that. And I finally found a therapist who I absolutely just clicked with. And I thank her for insisting on me going through that process, because now even when I have triggers, I know certain coping mechanisms that I can do. So that's something that's important for us in this project. We're also creating a toolkit to give the survivors, so even after the program you have this set of exercises that can help you when you're alone and you face triggers. And then you also have a sisterhood, because you've gone through this program with other survivors, so there's people you can reach out to as well.
Yeah, and also in line with the project, we are also looking out for guys who can donate space for us to hold support groups. So anybody who's out there at CBD, because it's really central and easy for women to come and meet. So if you have space and you're willing to give it to women, we would love for you to get in touch with us. Yeah.
That is a very deep conversation. I'm thinking about like someone goes through the trauma of rape, and many people don't go through, like, they don't get that therapy. You know, they just wing it. You know, they just do something else, who's burying themselves in their career, like you were saying. How long did it take between the incident and the realization that you definitely have to go?
I would say about 2 years. I didn't know by the time I was opening up to my mom that I needed therapy. That wasn't even something that I didn't go to her and say, I need help to get me a therapist. It was more of like, I'm actually crashing. And it's because this happened to me. My mom at the time was going through breast cancer treatment. So I also didn't want to burden her with my own things. So I was like, okay, maybe I can work on myself so I get to a point where she's not worried for me. But when I opened up to her first, obviously she asked me, did you go to hospital? Did you get all of those checks and all of that? And then she was like, you need now to go to therapy. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, perhaps a professional who would actually be of good help to me in this moment.
That is why it's so important what you're doing about getting everyone to get access to this therapy, because you can imagine you living in that thing all your life without going for the therapy that you need. And I remember sharing about therapy with a friend of mine who was divorced, and I told her to go for therapy. You remember that friend of mine? I'm kidding, Barbara.
He's talking about me.
Oh, really?
I'm a divorced woman, so that's why
But
I
I'm
was giving
kidding.
him that. He thinks I need more therapy. I have gone through therapy, but Emmanuel thinks I need more healing because I hate men, and I don't hate them. He assumes I do.
Yeah,
but I don't.
but Barbara, see, I'm kidding, right? We're gonna have
Don't
more.
worry, I know you also need therapy.
I do, right?
For other things.
We're
And
gonna have.
kuwekelewa mikono.
Let's listen to some Montel Jordan, and we'll be back to speak to Adelle, Onyango, and Ann Kungu, and obviously the rest of the usual suspects right here in the studio.
Hey, what's up? How are you doing, man? Something like, Lovi. Kika bro mazeni ajejo. So he had to switch back to his accent. But now he's a fully fledged prophet. Like he preaches with Benny Hinn and all these guys.
Oh.
He's always live on Twitter.
Yes,
Like,
so if you
seriously,
simply went
from
to
church,
Longomba, you'll see him doing that way. Wow! Then now
Eric, now he's preaching. Don't make
no, like there is history about him gyrating, but now he's like, what the Bible says. I want to tell you about the 4 prophets.
Yes, Unibwana.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, even Mace. You remember Mace?
Oh, yes, Maze.
But Mez has been back and forth, hasn't
Yeah, that's
he?
true.
He
felt
gets-
Maze is confused.
He came back like for like a tour, and I was just like,
I'm like, you're coming back for what?
"Nice, what you doing?"
Oh my
20
God.
minutes past 9 o'clock. We are the adults in the room. I'm in studio with Barbara, Eric, with myself, Emmanuel, and we have special guests today, Adelle, Onyango, and Ann Kungu. Karibuni sana. Once again, I'm the Karibu guy.
All right.
I
He's
only-
a lunge. He likes
Really?
that.
Oh yeah, but not the tea.
In fact, today I've toned it
Yeah,
down.
wow. Where's the tea?
No, the China come. Hey, ina come vibaya sana.
Mumechelewa, lakini tutaleta.
So we're discussing rape and sexual assault, and the lines are actually open.
Can I say the
07
lines?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
sorry.
could.
Please plug in today's conversation. That is rape and sexual assault. The number to call is 0719-012-600. I'll repeat, 0719-012-600. You could also chime in on today's conversation through our social media handles. That is Spice FM KE on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The hashtag has not changed. It is still as it was yesterday. Adults in the room. Ask us whatever you want to ask. You can ask Adelle, you can ask Anne. Plug in, let us know your thoughts. If you have any questions, if you're a survivor, share with us.
All right, so I'm seeing some brothers are calling. Let's get into and hear what people are saying about the conversation. Hello, Matthew.
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing, brother?
Good morning.
Good evening.
Mazi ulienda America.
Watu wanaanza yao.
Sasa hizi
Mazi umetoka wapi leo?
hizi handkerchief nitume ng'ambo ama hapa Nakuru?
Tuma Nakuru.
Bas, karibu sana brother. What are your thoughts on the topic, sir?
It's quite sad. Unfortunately, at times, I do not want to be associated with the male characters that we have in our current society. I've said this before. I get into scuffles with people who believe that just because they've bought a lady drink, they have to, take them home, which is not the case. I always believe that ladies are people who need to be protected, and out there, there are characters out there that you just said it a few minutes ago. When men are in a group, even if a lady was uncomfortable about a situation, they will gang up, not even knowing what these two characters had agreed upon that went wrong. And I totally feel that it's wrong. I think this sexual offense needs to be relooked again, because Anne who mentioned that when for instance a child is raped, one of the things they do is first of all get this child out of that environment, because if they are raped by a relative, and they would end up back in that particular home, this child is not safe. You get?
Yes.
Again, our judiciary, our legal wing has actually failed most ladies, because you guys mentioned at the beginning of the conversation that yes, people would go through the hospital, they would go through the reporting process, but after reporting, it all goes down from there. There's no success ever reported of conviction.
Yeah, Matthew.
It really needs some. We need to rethink our entire stance.
And I think, Matthew, we need to spread the conversation among the brothers, among ourselves, I think.
Yes, like you were saying earlier on, we need to call out. Someone vile Eric alikuwa anasema mtu anasumbua sana akiomba namba, sema wewe toka hapo bana, toka enda. It's a logical thing to do.
All right, Matthew, thank you so much for your phone call, brother. 0719012600. We're picking up your phone calls. We have these ladies here for only 26 minutes. So you better take advantage of this time. Let me pick another call. Spice FM, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am fine, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Damaris.
Damaris, you reminded me of that song of "This is the day that the Lord has made."
Oh, wow.
Venye umesema this is
Is
Damaris.
Damaris?
Sapo kwa Damaris mimi nikaweka day.
I am a big fan of you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you
Yeah.
finding the time to call. What are your thoughts on today's
Alright.
topic?
It's actually pretty sad what women go through in the society. And as you guys are saying, the way men will just, I don't know, do stuff and cheer each other up to continue doing it, and it's wrong, and we have to like say, whatever was your sister or your mother, I don't have to be your sister or your mother, I am human first. See, so you don't have to justify that. Don't do that, she's someone's sister. No, she's someone. Just stop at that. Don't do that because she's a person. Yes, and yeah. I really enjoy following your conversation.
We appreciate you, Damaris.
Thank you for plugging in, Damaris.
Yeah, thank you for calling Damaris.
Damaris is very sweet.
Yeah, Damaris is very sweet. I didn't ask her where she was calling from. Maybe she'll tell us next time. Yes, this is the call I wanted to pick. Hello, Collins.
How are you, my guys?
How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. Yesterday I wasn't around. I wasn't able to call. I wasn't able to listen to Spice FM.
Oh, Paul Sana, at least today you're around. Have you been listening to the conversation?
Sure, I have. Say hi
Yes.
to Adelle and
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Collins?
I'm good. Sometimes I'm just getting some worries here because the other day I was giving a talk on boy child displacement in the society.
Yes.
Then you see nowadays people are talking about ladies being victimized. Why should we make it so general and know that even men are victimized nowadays?
You know, because you're talking about boy child victimization, you could pick up that agenda in your next talk, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was just trying to say. There's a question posted in Facebook, and the first thing I was asking is what or who is to blame for this? Because maybe this is purely unpalatable action where people do, and there is a relationship between the id and the ego when such things happen. Something is going to drive you. For example, you see somebody passing, then somebody talking about adornment. Mtu amevaa nguo, you get driven towards the rape. At the same time, you're getting sexual assault just because the way. The first person to blame is the mind of that person the rapist. Mimi kwangu, I totally disagree when you talk about person maybe amevaa kitu inakaa kama chupa anatembea nayo, then you feel like I have to do this.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, you're right. The problem is with the perpetrator and not the victim.
Yeah, thank you so much, Collins. Adele, there's something you said. You said that the day is coming when where our femininity.
That one.
Yes, that one was a big one. As women will be valued in itself and not in its relation to masculinity. You want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, I mean, I think even the final caller, Collins, whenever we talk about women's issues and whenever I talk about conversations around rape and sexual violence and femicide, there will always be that person who comes up and says, but even men are being, killed and men are being... And my first response is first that it's very disrespectful to that man who has been killed or to that man who is a survivor to use his story to shoot down another survivor, right? That's just disrespectful. But it also comes back to what I said in that clip where we're always rounded off. And the conversation can't be that women are being raped, women are being killed. It's always rounded off. It can't be in itself, right? And in terms of our femininity, even in a brighter space, right? We're always valued more when you're married. You know what I mean? Or, there's a man to speak for you, be it your father or your brothers.
You have a certain son.
You know what I mean? And there's some women who go to boardrooms with a ring on. I have a friend who has a ring that she wears to certain meetings because if she doesn't have that ring, they will not listen to her opinion.
I wear a ring to just not get hit on.
Exactly. So that's what I mean when I say our femininity is always linked to a masculine agenda. It can never just be in itself as a standalone in itself, right? And so I feel like that day is coming. When I interact with young women in campus, the things they're saying, I'm a loud and outspoken person, but when I was in campus, I couldn't even stand up for myself like they are doing now. So I feel like that day is coming, and just us having this conversation means it's coming, but that day is just not today, and we're still losing women, and it's not okay.
Yeah, and we have to walk towards that day, right?
Yeah.
We do. We totally do.
0719012600, 30 minutes to go, and the ladies won't be here. So if you're out there and you want to talk to them, please call in. I'm going to be picking up more phone calls back to back between now and 9:45. All right. The hashtag is also adults in the room, so you can dash to your phone and tweet if you don't want to call. And by the way, you don't have to tell me your name. You can just call in anonymous too. And
That's
you know,
true.
sometimes I push guys off by saying, "Tell me your name." So in fact, now going forward, I'm not going to ask for names. I'm just going to pick up phone calls.
There's a gentleman called Masharia Joffrey said to everyone out there, men especially, violence and any form of abuse against women should stop. We need to respect our ladies and even protect them.
Spice FM, hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, Sam.
Leo nakujua lakini leo sikuulizi
Hata mimi
jina.
nakujua. How are you, sweetheart? Emmanuel has said I become disciplined, but I know your voice. How are you, my dear?
Where is Eric?
Eric is right here, man. How are you?
I'm just Leonida. Just say my name.
We know you know Lida. We know you from Vihiga County.
From Vihiga County.
You see, we even know.
Karibu sana
I have the
Leonida.
right to say whatever I have.
Yes.
Let someone just hear, but you will never, or he will never affect me.
All right, go ahead, Leonida.
Yeah. No, unaona nini, my fellow guys.
Yes.
I said long time ago, this mind is just self-driven mind. Unaweza ona mtu hata amevaa kitu gani, lakini utapita kwake na uende shughuli zako. Sio lazima ukiona mtu hata amevaa, labda mimi kama vile sometimes ninaweza vaa nguo mrefu, sometimes ninaweza vaa miniskirt, sometimes ninaweza vaa shorti ama longi. So you can't be self-driven to kufanya mambo ya raping. Sababu mimi nimevaa hivyo. Hiyo ni kichwa tu, hiyo ni mambo tu ya mtu ameumbwa tu nayo. Mtu mwenye ameumbwa tu na upepo zake ni pepo zake tu. Unaona?
Kweli kabisa.
Mtu anaweza ona mwenzake amevaa nguo nyingine mbaya kabisa na atapita, vijana watamwangalia. Sasa kila mtu ako na akili yake, but they should style up.
Yeah.
Sio lazima ukiona tu mtu unakaa kama kuku. Kwani wewe ni kuku mwenye unapatia tu saa yote mtu.
True story, Leonida.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your phone call.
And thanks, Leonida, for calling. But that's a very important angle Leonida has brought, because there's a big conversation around mad people, for lack of a better term, who try to qualify their actions because of what somebody was wearing.
Yes.
You could wear a hijab and get raped. Anne said there are cases of 3-year-olds who are raped. What were they wearing?
Exactly.
Just before you guys
Diapers.
came, I shared actual fun rapes, actual fun facts. No, not fun facts. I beg your pardon. Actual facts about rape. And one was very intriguing. It was from a New York Times quote. It read that they said she dressed older than her age.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? And then one that really was fascinating to me, and these are facts about rape cases in the United States, which is America, you know? So the percentage of rape not reported in the States is 54%. That is huge. All right. This one was also really mind-boggling. Age of woman raped in Central Park in September of 2012 is 73. So it's not in the age, it's not in what you're wearing, it's not
time
and
of
then
day.
I like what Adelle said, it's not about sex, was it? And it's not about sex, it's just a power
It's
play.
power. Yeah. It's power, it's objectification. And honestly, like, we need, many people will say, we've seen a lot of survivors coming on social media to air that this has happened to me and blah blah blah, and there'll be many people who'll be like asking victim shaming, either what were you wearing, where were you at that, why were you there at that time of day, or blah blah blah. But there's also people who are like, so you then go to the police. Here in Kenya, they'll be
It
like,
doesn't
"They-
work."
that's that same police who you as an individual in other spaces do not trust
Yeah.
that justice will be served to you, whether
Yes.
it was your house was robbed
Yeah.
or you lost
Or
something,
car
whatever.
was vandalized.
All of a sudden, overnight, you believe that this person, I mean, this survivor should not come here. They should go to that system that treats a survivor very harshly. It's like a second level of trauma when you're going to report a rape case to people who do not believe rape is a crime to begin with. So
Even
if we're
ask you,
talking
ulikuwa wapi?
or
Ulifanya
marital
nini?
rape, I have a friend, she went to report it was marital rape. They laughed
Yeah.
because they were like, but you are married. What are you coming to say? That's a second level of trauma you're giving a survivor. So when you find survivors sharing their stories online to try and get some sort of justice from people, don't ridicule them. They're coming there because they have no option.
And if you have nothing better to say, you'd just rather shut up.
Exactly.
All right, let's
and,
talk
in terms
to.
of, and in terms of facts as well.
Sorry, Anne, just hold that thought. Let's talk to John. John, how you doing, brother?
I'm okay. Long
Good.
time, man.
Yeah, long time no see, man. Although I was told that's the wrong phrase.
That's not
But how you
grammatical
doing? You wanna share your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to share my thoughts. No, I've just come from work and I've just gotten a stipend of the topic of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've heard is it's something like to some extent about gender-based violence or violence against women, something like
We
that.
are talking about rape and sexual assault.
Rape.
Rape and sexual assault, yes. And how men ought to behave better and call out other men who are behaving badly, even if they are their cronies.
Okay, I've never shared this, but someone raped my sister when I was in class 3,
Yes.
and it was in my presence.
Mm-hmm.
I was in class 3, 2002 in August.
Yes.
In my mom's house, someone raped my sister, and I was there sleeping. There was nothing I could do. The problem is, I was a little kid, and the problem is, I was blamed. People were like, you know what, you should have done something, you should have shouted, you should have done something. But this person had clubs and rungus and pangas, and I was like, if I do something, this person might kill my sister. So I did nothing. Preferably to protect my sister. Then again, I was blamed, and I never come out of it. Nobody cared that there was a kid experiencing something like this. My sister was informed too by then. So it's a trauma. It's a trauma that I've lived with, and I don't know what comes into the mind of a rapist. I never thought. I don't know how it comes into someone's mind. But again, I can't blame ladies because I hear some people blame ladies for dressing scantily or dressing provocatively. But we just need to have some sort of self-control. You talk to yourself when you see a lady dressed in a way. You do sort of things which women do. When a woman sees a lady dressed in a bad way, she will pick a lasso and cover her up instead of shouting or something.
John, have you tried seeking help for your trauma?
Okay.
Like therapy?
Tell you, it's tough that this problem made me just get suspended from the university, and I've been home. Yes, I've not gone back to university because no one understands. No one even understands. It has affected me so much, and I've been home for 4 years. I was in second year, now it's been 4 years. I don't know if I'll get back to university, but I'm trying to come out of it on my own.
Okay, John, just hold on the line. Maybe when Adele and Anne would speak, they would lead you in a way that you would follow and hopefully find reprieve, Yeah, just keep it locked. Thank you.
He's brought a topic, or he spoke of something that I have read about it, where we have adults who are walking like they are normal, and they were actually they're in trauma for rape, not only from what he's seen that happened to the sister, but they're also children and who are not children, adults who were raped when they were young, and they've tried to deal with it for themselves. They have not spoken about it because some of these people are family members or the people who they know, or they were in circumstances they could not get out of. How are you dealing with that? Have you dealt with older people like maybe a woman of my
also
age.
before we go there, Barbara, just Adele and Dan, I would like for you to react to what is said
Yeah.
and how you can go about it.
That is a lot. I mean, he said it happened. He was 3 years old, and now campus level, right? So that's a long time to be carrying such a heavy level of guilt. This is your sister, so you interact with her, which means you're constantly having triggers of that guilt, right? Of I let this happen to her. She's probably also going through her trauma, and he's seeing that. So that's also a trauma of that. She's going through this because I didn't stop it, when in reality at 3 years old there's really nothing that you could have done. It's very important I like that you brought up therapy. I think therapy is very, very important for you as well. I think his guilt might be that he's not going to seek help because he's not the one who got raped. So you feel like, do I deserve to start saying that I'm broken? But how can I say I'm broken and I'm not the one who got raped? But you are. I mean, going through it is traumatic. Watching it is traumatic. Watching someone you love getting raped is trauma on a whole other level altogether. So I would...
And keeping it for 21 years.
And keeping it for all of those years. I think before you start figuring out, and maybe right now I'm trying to like psychoanalyze him, I'm so sorry, but he's probably trying to focus on helping his sister, but even you have been traumatized. And as a kid, people normally think, oh, nothing sticks with kids, nothing.
But
those are formative years. There's a lot that happens within those years that stays with us for days. And only therapy will show you, oh, you're reacting like this because when you were 5, certain things happened or used to happen repetitively. So I would say therapy is so important for him, I think.
Are there organizations that can help him or any other person who's been sexually abused or assaulted when they were young?
Carolina can,
Yes.
can help too.
So my interest would be to know where he's at. If you could be able to talk to him, even if he's not somewhere near where he can come for services from us, we can refer him to someone who can support him. So I would really be interested in knowing where he is. And I agree with Adele. He also went through trauma, so he does need the support. I'd also be interested to know what kind of support the sister got as well.
Also, just maybe, Anne, you can share with him where he can reach you in terms of your line, your number, but just
handles,
your handle.
Because I know
if he's listening, he's in Kisumu.
He's in Kisumu.
So you can just jot down,
Okay.
maybe your socials.
So I would say just look up Carolina for Kibera on Facebook and write a message. I will get in touch with you. Just write a message and leave your phone number, Carolina for Kibera. I will get back in touch with you.
There's also the organization Niskize that does on the phone therapy. So if he just goes on social media and looks for their pages, their number is there. So you can be able to
is
call.
it toll free? They are working on that?
I don't think it's toll free yet, but they were trying to work on it. Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can squeeze in a call. Spice FM, hello.
Hello, Spice FM.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, but me, I have an issue.
Yes, talk to us.
Nilikuwa nataka advice venye naweza fanya. Niko na partner.
Yes.
Na tumekaa for 5 years. But ni mkali. Yani siwezi hata kuoa.
Ni mkali sana.
Is it a boyfriend or a husband? Ni boyfriend ama ni boyfriend?
Ni boyfriend, but sasa tunakaribia kuoana, but kila nikienda kumtembelea ni mkali, yani hakuna kitu naweza ongea, ni mkali, anatoka anarudi, I can't even advise her, tuwezi tuka tuongee, niko chini yake kabisa, but nikitoka huko nirudi na
but he then does he abuse you physically apart from the verbal abuse?
No.
Or just verbally?
Have you tried talking to him or getting someone who is close to him to talk to him?
Okay, nimejaribu kumwongelesha, saa ingine hata nikienda kumtembelea, nikirudi unapata ananimiss, na saa hiyo mimi nimeboeka, I'm like sitaenda huko tena, but utapata anarudi ananitafuta.
Alafu unarudi.
But nikienda huko narudi tu.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Mbona unarudi?
Yeah, that's crazy. I think she's being abused verbally.
Emotionally, not even verbally, emotionally.
And most of the time it escalates. things don't just stagnate at one point
will
of
grow.
abuse, and it's easier to walk away now than when you've involved the government in marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 minutes to 10 o'clock. We are the adults in the room, and we're picking up your phone calls. 0719012600. We're here till 10 o'clock. I'm in studio with Eric, Barbara, with myself, Emmanuel, and we have Adelle, Onyango, and Ann Kungu. And we've just had a dope time right here in the studio, and time has really flown. There's a lady who's just called a few moments ago, Eric, and she says her mzee wake ni mkali sana.
Sad, eh? But I just wanted to share that abusive people first abuse you mentally before it graduates into physical abuse. And if you balance the equilibrium between mental abuse and physical abuse, it is said that mental abuse is more potent than physical abuse. While kind of a bruise on your finger or your leg can heal, mental abuse stays on and lingers on far longer, sometimes forever.
Yeah,
If
that's
you,
very
especially
true.
if you don't go and have it sorted
But
out.
also remember, physical abuse, you could get yourself killed. So the lady needs to also.
So what I would tell to the lady is to, up and leave, because people show you who they are,
Yep.
and you have to believe them. So, you up and leave. If she sees now that she cannot continually live with this guy's character, then it's only going to get worse. Yeah. And if she can't fix it now, then wachana nae, because she's properly diagnosed him as mtu mkali.
Ann, you had something to say about that?
Yes, and also in line, I'm always against this vumilia culture that we have
For
So
women.
Please do not vumilia anything. I was really worried the fact that she's saying that they are about to get married. Sweetheart, those are red flags. Red flags are
That's a
being
red
flown.
banner.
Yes, correct. A banner, a very big one. So run away. I always say, like, love yourself first. Love yourself first. Think about your own safety. Then you'll sort out everyone else. So just run away. You do not owe anyone anything.
Yeah.
You owe no one nothing.
You don't owe nobody a relationship.
Nothing at all.
And
Love
it can
yourself.
escalate so quickly.
And the fact that she was saying anonymous.
Yeah.
Sweetheart, if he misses you and he loves you, he will not treat you the way he's treating you.
Dr. Maya Angelou used to say that love is many things, but the one thing love is not is unsure.
Yes. But they also say that about abusers. So that's why if you talk to a lot of ladies who have been in abusive relationships, he'll be angry one moment, and then the day you want to, you've worked out the courage, or the next day or whatever, to have a conversation about it, he comes home with flowers and chocolates. And you actually feel like, okay, maybe I'm the mad one here, like something.
It was a bad day.
So he'll reinforce the abuse with a positive gesture. So there are misuse and there are love use, and that doesn't make it okay.
Manipulation.
Yeah, true, man. I don't know if you're gonna get time. Let's squeeze in one more phone call.
All right.
Just one. All right. Spice FM. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Kelvin from Nakuru.
What's happening, brother?
I'm good. How's Barbara?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you, Kelvin. What are your thoughts today?
Okay, first I want to appreciate Adele and the lady.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, kwanza Adele, we admire your boldness.
Asante, thank you.
And I've been following your campaign, nimekuwa nikiangalia, and we really appreciate.
Asante, thank you for supporting it.
You're giving a lot of girls strength. And just congratulate Spice FM kwa sababu you always give us the best of the best conversations.
Thank you so much, Kelvin.
Yeah.
All right, we appreciate you, brother. Let's talk about how to plug in once again. I'm an individual in Nakuru, and I'm going to start with you, Anne, before I go to Adele. And I want to plug into this movement, and I want to support. How do I go about it?
So the thing is, just go to Adelle's handle, Adelle Onyango, on her links in her bio, and just find the M-Pesa lines. Send in M-Pesa. If you're a psychologist and you want to give your time, either to facilitate the sessions or to help in developing the toolkit, same thing, there's a link there. Write in, send your CV. We would love to hear from you. If you're an institution that has empty spaces that you are willing to donate for these women to meet from, get in touch also with us. So you can get in touch through Adelle's handles, or you can look for Carolina for Kibera and get in touch with us as well, and we will get back to you. So we need all the support that we can get. So we need finances. So we, as Adelle said, we only need 4,000 people to give us 350 shillings peke yake, just 350.
What are the actual numbers for the M-Pesa?
Okay, so on M-Pesa, if you go to the pay bill option, the pay bill number is 891-300. That's 891-300, and the account number is 36348. So there's other options if you go to the actual M-Changa page, so you can pay via Visa, PayPal. If you have like Famo abroad, you can tell them as well. And all the other, so Airtel Money, T-Cash, that's also options that are there as well. Yeah.
But you told me about people who are even contributing their other skills, they're designing T-shirts,
Yes.
they're designing videos.
Yeah, so I'll first shout out the work that's already out there. I have to shout out an amazing Kenyan artist called Ed Wainaina. And he feels so strongly about this conversation that every conversation we had with women in the build up to this campaign, he would translate it into art, like so a video that has illustrations, like it's just funky new school art that's just amazing, and his own interpretation of the topic of rape and sexual violence. And then now, so you guys are the first to get this exclusive, so I had to go to your bathrooms to change into this t-shirt. We have Safe 247 merchandise. So another artist called Kelvin Jeru, he designed this artwork that I'm wearing.
I deserve to be safe.
Yes, it says I deserve to be safe. And then another company called Creator T came on board. They said we'll print t-shirts, sweatshirts, tote bags, and people can buy them, and percentage of the proceeds actually go to Safe 247. So we've had quite a few people coming on board, and the link will be up via the link in my bio for people to purchase the t-shirts or the sweatshirts or the tote bags online, and they'll be delivered to you. We're going into the Christmas season. So, I mean, if you have women in your life and you truly believe in our code that women deserve to be safe 24/7, then get them this that says, I deserve to be safe. That's
And
all
it's a
women are
beautiful
saying.
t-shirt.
I think it really
It
is.
is.
And it's like,
It looks good.
The textures go.
yeah.
It
I'll
looks-
get myself one.
It
Yeah.
looks really dope. Thank you so much for coming through. Eric, do you want to, thank the guests? for coming
Thank you
through?
so much, Anne. And I'm sorry for my terrible assumptions. And Adelle, I cannot thank you enough.
Yes.
I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And I just want to wish you the best. You're welcome to come again to just, give us feedback and how else we could support.
Yeah.
And you're also welcome. I think you're doing a tremendous job in Kibra, and keep on keeping on. And let's just, do our best every day, eh? And thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, guys. I hope nobody else from other stations is listening, but this has been the best interview I have had. So thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of fun.
That is really dope. Barbara,
I would like to say to the ladies, thank you for being the voice of the voiceless. It is just an honor to have you here.
yeah, it actually is. I was actually kind of nervous when you're coming through. You know that? Huh? I'm
Why?
confessing on there. Adele is a super radio presenter.
And then she just be like, that guy sitting on the console. That guy is shit. Hey, that guy. Sema shit.
I was never saying, man. I'm like, oh, no, what am I going to
Awesome. You guys are so
Can you
And
imagine?
she's done radio for over 7
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, I did it for 10 years.
10 years!
My God.
Watch and end home, eh?
Good night, Manu.
Why am I here? Why am I sitting here? In fact, one of my ideas was Adele comes and sits here.
Oh, no, I
We
did
run the
not.
show from there. But we appreciate you so much for coming through, man. We're going to be here tomorrow, same time, same place. The conversation, please keep the conversation going on Twitter and all the social media platforms. This is a conversation which can't finish in one day. Senior brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's keep talking, and man to man, let's do better.
Yes.
They say when you know better, The purpose of knowing is doing, so you do better.
Yes,
No
Barbara.
harassing women, no grabbing people's waists.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
do better.
Yeah, Barbara straight home today.
Straight home.
Adele straight home, or you're gonna go get some dinner?
Straight home, man. I have an early morning.
How about you, Anne? Straight home? Yeah, me too. I hope it's not raining like it was yesterday. I hope the roads are clear. Tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to be here 7 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock. On behalf of Mumbi, our super producer, and Brian, our digital master, we want to wish you a very good night. Music all night long.
Oh, that was so...
Chilled Spice.